Hello there, Pastafarians. Music is from Mitch. Today is Monday. Looks like Filthy Films and Nathan Mercer are here. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Good morning, Pastafarians, says Filthy Films. Good morning, everybody. Fuck the fucking fucker, says Nathan Mercer. Oh, I fucking know, right?
Totally.
Fucking, in fact, double fuck the fucking fuckers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Cripes. Anyway, the fuckers are at it again. Fucking talking shit about a poor little 16-year-old who come across the Atlantic Ocean to be like, hey, why the fuck aren't you guys listening to me? I speak for the fucking trees. It's a hard thing to watch, this planet, this fucking this thing that we are determined to do.
Or our God, our beliefs.
Yeah,
We're creating his story.
I was listening to motherfuckers out there on the old thing, and this guy was like, I don't know why I'm being persecuted just for my biblical political beliefs. And it's like, whoa. Biblical and political views. Like, how can you not see that that's what we're trying to avoid? Anyway, before we get too far into it, I'd like to right here.
This song's over.
That's the end of that song. Song by the Beatles. A very good song. I enjoy that one quite a bit. I'm going to click it off my list here so I don't accidentally play it again. So, Pastafarians, welcome to the Monday show. After the weekend, a lot of people generally show up to this for some reason. We were looking at the numbers. They're showing me the numbers in all of those meetings, and they're like, your Monday show's your big show. And I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah, look at the numbers. I'm like, shit. I thought the Monday show was the small show. I've been treating it like the small one. I've been treating the Friday show like it's a big show. But anyway. So yeah, we're still getting the subs. They're fucking rolling in.
Good.
As much as they were when I was doing the work on the street. So maybe we've been screaming at the algorithm enough that it's like, oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with the NSA. Oh, you talking to us? Yes! Transcribe this shit for us! It's your job! 60 how many?
61.
Wow. How many episodes are in the spring season?
I don't know.
38, isn't it? 36, something like that.
I bet if we went
36.
and listened to it, we talked about it.
Oh yeah, bet so. Who's gonna go listen to it though? But yeah,
Poor Greta.
poor Greta. Fucking some douche called her a Nazi. Yeah, he said Goebbels used young blonde girls to try to get people to listen to. Like, whoa, really?
It's terrible.
I mean, it might not be, might not be, because a lot of times when we compare people to Hitler, which is a thing we do,
Mm-hmm.
it's a thing we do in modern society, and and why not? I mean, he was very despicable.
Yeah.
And so we're like, well, he was despicable in these ways. Let's see how very similar you are to Hitler. And so, there's lots of things to talk about with Hitler. He had quite a bit of, sort of eccentricities that we can focus on and be like, do you have these? Do you have those? Because they do that a lot, right? They're like, what are the other signs of people who are ill so that we might help them from doing crazy things before they do them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, Hitler had a real hard time hearing the word no, I hear.
Oh, interesting. Who else have we?
Yeah.
Our moms?
Yeah.
mean,
I hear
we're
that
just
he just
comparing
lived in a sort of
traits.
fantasy world as well. I hear that people would try to tell him things about, like, we need the oil for the army or we're going to lose Africa or whatever. And he's like, you can do it. Just didn't hear the word no. Like Steve Jobs as well. Steve
Yeah,
Jobs was
that
like
Fire
Hitler in that way.
Documentary guy.
Who?
Fire.
Yeah, that guy was like Hitler in
Yeah,
that way.
people were being like, we can't fit enough people, and he's like, you're off the team. I don't want to hear no's. You make it work. Something
Yeah.
like that. That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't hear no's.
Yeah, I can't even, we don't believe in that kind of universe. We're an answers, we're a solutions company, not a problems company.
Mm-hmm.
So very strange. To think that a sentence like that just fixes things. It's very strange. But, you can say as mean things as you want about Hitler, but, no one else killed Hitler. Like, he finally got him in the end. Pow.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the time travelers haven't come back and fucking fixed it, so this is the best version of this we get. So that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nathan Mercer says, makes people think about, were Nazis really right or were they left? Dude, I really don't know what the difference is between right and left, other than to tell people you're not on my side. Like, I don't know of anything that one of the sides does that the other side does, right? Because you can say, well, most of the people on the right are against abortion, and it's like, cool, but, that's not what's dividing us, because there's a thing on the people on the left that are, like, there's people on both sides that are thing, right? There's people on the left that are like, well, no, I mean, I'm generally right, but, abortions, it's not my thing. I don't know. I'm a dick. I have a penis. I can't talk about abortions because of how I don't grow the babies inside of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know when it becomes a medical thing to a spiritual thing. I don't know the line, and I don't get to know. Like, I have never done it, So, there's people on the right that can see that, right? And that doesn't push them out, right? So what does, what pushes us out of these groups? Because I got pushed out of the left, of a number of left things. And I'm definitely not invited to the right things, right? I'm talking to people who are on the right, and they are definitely can tell that I'm not on their side. So I think believing that the Bible is a hateful book and has excluded me from the right. Right? The Bible is as bad as the Quran. I think I'm not allowed anything that the right does. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that I do a couple things that the left if they heard them, they'd be like, oh, fuck, you're not with us.
Yep.
So, I don't know what they are, because I think that I hear them telling me who they're not, instead of who they are, right? So, I can't wear any of these labels. They're trying to tell me to go in for this fucking, vote in the primaries. It's like, no, that's un-American, right? Primaries are un-American. Pick a side before the vote, that's un-American. Something can be said on the last day that should fucking swing your vote, right?
Yep.
And so, you know,
Yeah.
I think that the primary system has fucked us over and over. I can fucking recall.
It needs to be canceled.
I'm an old enough fucking dude to recall when it gave us Bush, right? We should have fucking fixed that shit with Obama. You know, Obama came after Bush and he'd be like, cool, the guy before me, he cheated his way in. Right? Should have been Al Gore. Al Gore would have saved the planet, right?
Yeah, he would.
The fucking Electoral College fucked this planet. So, what the fuck, man? Like, why the fuck is it still around? A very good friend of mine, who is the person that I listen to about these things, says that it's because we're independent states, right? We're not a nation. And so... I thought that's what the Civil War was, though. Was saying, it doesn't really work, though. Because you guys cannot have slaves. You know? I thought that's what it was. Because the South was the North was fighting. Because you fuckers have slaves, and that shit is over. Right? That's why they were fighting, is that right? But the South was fighting because that's not the way this country works. You cannot tell us what to do. You cannot tell us. You can't come in here and say that Georgia is like Vermont. It's not.
Right.
And they were right? Doesn't the fucking thing say that? And then you know, we changed our mind. Right? And then we know we changed our mind because when we go set up democracies in other countries, we don't be like, now think about the 50 independent states that you want to make up your federation.
An electoral college.
Yeah, how are you going to be doing your electoral college? Meth head tweaker Adolf. Yeah, fucking Adolf. Nathan Mercer says, ethno-nationalism on the rise again. I know! What the fuck is that? Like, I never, ever, ever thought of this country as a white country. I've never thought of it as a European country. I've thought of us as fucking, refugees of fucking systems that were going to kill us, probably.
Yeah, from everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, to think of ourselves as fundamentally European is new to me. Eh? Yeah, and I think it betrays a certain stupidity, especially from people who don't, who are on the top, right? Like my race is the best race, obviously. And it's like, oh, obviously, is it? All right, let's fucking measure it. Let's measure your race. Let's see what's the best about it. And they're like, no. Our place in the world is why we're the best. Because our goodness earned us that. And like, oh, okay.
Yep.
How good we are, how fit we are, and these things earned us the abuse that we fucking inflicted on many, many other people with our weapons and our illnesses, eh? Like, we really, really count the fucking illnesses we put along into the native populations of these places as God fucking helping us out and cleaning out our fucking... Right? That's how the Europeans see that shit. It's like, well, you know, if they were as good as us, they would have been able to beat us. And it's like, okay, that's weird. Maybe, okay, let's go find the Toller tribes, right? Let's say the Toller is the better, and let's go give them the fucking number one spot arbitrarily. Anyway,
It just has to do with this fucking story of Christianity's right.
Yeah, from the story of Christianity, which is there is a chosen people.
Yeah.
Christianity is fundamentally racist with the chosen people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
And then
how
all
it
of
is.
those people living here have been like, of course. See?
That's what got us here, is our fucking God, the God of Abraham, and the racist way we fucking worship him. In America, there are two sides of the same coin. Yeah, they're both the same. Neither of those. Bernie was independent because he can't find a place that will fucking nominate him. So whatever that fucking, I've been saying, the third parties are going to save this country. We should get out there again and fucking make some fucking vote third party things, eh? Can you do that for me? I'll talk to my art department, get that sketched up. Rowan F is here. Hello there, Rowan. We're just fucking ranting about race for some reason. Oh, because fucking Dinesh D'Souza fucking called What's-a-Nuts a Nazi with her fucking plates. Get the fuck out of here. An illusion to divide the population in half and make them hate each other instead of the system that controls them. Us. Yes, this is one of the things that we are hearing from Nelson Mandela, is that, you know, they're playing you against, you're not the enemy, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got to find the enemy. It's the system. We've got to figure it out. And that's what he was saying 2 times. He said it to the ladies and the Me Too sort of thing, is that, like, no, you gotta do the thing where they say, because of the system, I found myself doing things like this. Mm-hmm. The system just sort of allowed me to do things like this, and I don't allow myself to do things like that anymore. So it can be a lot different than fucking Al Franken needs to fucking quit the Senate. Yeah. Yeah. And I think this thing with Trudeau, like, we're learning what apologies sound like. You know, we just don't know. Yeah. Hey, as fucking humans, as Americans, what does an apology sound like? Like, I can't think of a.
Yeah. Now that we're coming into the age of truth, because everything's on the internet.
Right.
We're experiencing what apologies are.
Yeah.
And what are mistakes that's coming out.
The abusers classically don't apologize, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a very sad trope about abuse. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints screams it loudly. Mm-hmm. Nixon fucking never fucking apologized. You know, it's you know, it's just this idea that these very narcissistic systems have, is that an apology is not necessary. And we are taken care of, we are shepherded, as it were, by so many fucking narcissistic systems, man. There's just, in our experience, an actual apology is very rare, right? And I don't even know if I know how to apologize, right? So I know that fucking what Justin Trudeau's doing doesn't really sound like an apology. But maybe it is, Maybe it is. And I really thought that Louis C.K.'s apology was an apology, and maybe it wasn't. I really fucking don't know.
Yeah, and I thought Al Franken had a great apology, too.
I'm not sure. I think Al Franken, I don't know about his actual apology. I can't recall it specifically.
I read it online once.
I may have, but I don't recall it. But, and also, you know how we have, like, this retributive justice system, right? If you steal something, you go to jail for a minute. Mm-hmm. Is that an apology?
Right, serving time.
Is it?
Does that count?
Is it? Is that what it's intended to be? And do we fucking count it?
We don't.
I don't think we do.
No.
Right. And so, there's never an apology, is that right? We treat people like there's never an apology. It's very, very strange. I really don't know what an apology is. A very abusive person came to me and said, if I've ever done anything wrong to you, I'm sorry. And now this person thinks they've apologized about everything. And it's like what? What do you think you might have done wrong here? Let's talk about what you've done wrong. Because apology, right, it's very much like this Christian idea of repentance. They just stole the idea of apology from the rest of us. Mm-hmm. Fucking God didn't come up with apologies, did he? But apologies are repentance, and they fucking wrapped it in magic, as if fucking the blood of Jesus Christ allows you to do it. No. The flow of time, the growth of the human allows you to do it.
The watching of that person and actions over time.
That allows you to apologize. That is the thing that allows you to see the story of yourself before now, and want sort of better versions of it, and fucking write better versions of it. becoming a new person, fucking waking to the day. Not magical fucking blood sacrifice that happened in mythology. It's disgusting. So anyway, apology is that statement that recognizes a change in behavior, right? That says, oh yeah. I used to believe in a divine storyteller, and so instead of telling the story myself, I was listening for what the story was, and so I was very, very passive in this life, and because of that, I didn't fucking clean it up, I didn't clean the shit up. I just let the shit accumulate. So, I don't intend on doing that anymore. Now, that might be an apology. Might not be. I have no idea. I have fucking no clue. Because, people want something else out of this apology.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it
Kind
is.
of like vengeance or retribution or something. Something that they don't realize they can't have. They want it undone. And it was a mistake. Right.
Well,
if there's...
It's, yeah. I don't know about mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake. But yeah, they want it undone. They want the past to have changed. And it's like, no, the future is what we change. Right? The past is written, we're writing it, you know, and you know, we change the direction we're headed. It's our God-given right to be best, continues Nathan Mercer. If climate change is real, God will fix it. Yeah. What very yeah, I see this a lot.
Yeah.
I see the climate change just as like a phew, finally something in the Bible's coming true. It's been a long time, right?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since any of this shit fucking made sense. But you know, it's getting hot at the end. I'm sure it said that somewhere in Revelation, right?
Yeah, that's what fires mean.
Yeah, that's what he meant with fire, is global warming. Yeah. And it's definitely Jesus doing it and not us, even though the scientists keep screaming at us, it's us.
It's us doing it.
Right, so all we have to do is stay asleep and our book will become true. And it's just such a suicidal thought. You know who else was suicidal? Fucking Hitler. Rowan F says, I was once in a therapy group. Congratulations. Good for you, Rowan F. I need to go to a lot of therapy groups and learn these conversations and these ideas. They're very valuable moments. And the topic was abusive relationships. It's surprising how many of the red flags of abusive relationships seem to line up with the school and government systems. Oh, I know.
Yes.
Let's talk about the schools. 100%. You brought up schools right now. I'm going to rant. You did this. You chose this.
Sounds like that abusive language.
Yeah. I don't want to do this to you. You made me.
You got me angry.
That's right. So this last weekend was homecoming for my high school and middle school age children. And I don't want to tell you where they are, but they lost their homecoming game like 50-0 to a Christian school. Okay? And the fucking wind up and the setup to this fucking bullshit, a whole weekend of this insane 1955 community indoctrination bullshit. It was just this week was obscene. They had them doing things on Thursday. They were one of my kids was decorating a float for the 2-block-long parade. We're in a very, 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 very small town here, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
you can't even call it a 2-block.
It is an itty-bitty, teeny-weeny town in the middle of the mountains. They found
with
like
a highway running
half
through
a mile. Yeah, 35 miles an hour in town, but it's 50 normally. And they shut that shit down for 2 blocks and had a parade with the football team. Who's like in it?
Yeah, the football team and the individual grade
Yeah,
classes.
yeah.
So like the 11th grade had a float and the 10th grade had a float.
Oh my god, it was like walking into the 1950s. I've never seen so many Trump stickers in my life. It was really
it's funny?
really just embarrassing.
There's-
Well, don't tell too many details.
Okay.
So then there was this they called it the Powder Puff game, where the roles were switched, if you could believe such a thing. The boys were doing the cheerleading, ladies and gentlemen, if you can imagine it.
In miniskirts.
In miniskirts, and the ladies were doing the footballing. Could you? Oh my. And then none of them were looking at the ladies to see who was good as it, to see who to put in a fucking uniform for tomorrow's game, by the way. No one was looking at it for that fucking purpose. Maybe they would have scored some points if they noticed how fast these bitches ran, but they didn't, eh? They were just busy making fun of each other, right? Oh my fucking Christ. It was like nothing I've ever wanted to imagine, and my children were smack dab in the middle of it. What bad parenting on my part to keep them around such insanity and indoctrination. They tell my kids, who are pretty smart, by the way. I don't know what your SAT scores, your PSAT scores are, but I would like to compare them to the ones that, came back to my house last year. And so because my kids are so smart, they're like, oh, well, we've got to give them the best that we can offer. And because that's what this kid wants. They're listening to this, like, I had the counsellor be like, I think that you'll find that if you just accept what you get, you'll realise it's what was perfect for you, says to me. Well, I'll say, my kid doesn't have any interest in fucking history. Why did you give them 2 fucking advanced history classes? He's got absolutely no interest. Why isn't he doing something he's interested in? And they're like, well, it's what we can offer him, and so that's what he's doing. And it's like, no, you're not offering him what he needs, and so you're trying to sell him what you have as the best thing, because why would Jesus have it any other way? It's just a fucking insane place I live right here. I'm a terrible person for allowing my kids to go to this terrible ass fucking school. But this fucking homecoming was heartbreaking. It just really, really hurts to know that there are pockets of sort of time slow, you know what I mean? Time dilation. People are just so fucking lazy. They just are just not at all interested in solving these problems from a new perspective. They're like, our grandparents had a solution and they said it was pretty good. Let's just use that as if it's gonna work for the modern problems. I was very emotional on Friday about this whole situation we've gotten our planet in, and that, like, it's hard to think of a way to get over it, right? It's hard not to just be like, man, it's still fucking happening. The next fucking week she's crying again in fucking Congress. America, fuck yeah, dude. And we're right. Speaking of those 2 guys, that's Trey Stone and Matt Parker? No, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Matt Stone, Trey Parker.
Right.
Okay, and they're from right around here. I live near South Park, Colorado, right around the same place. So yeah, it's still, there's just this enclave of fucking slow time.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and to see that this shit is intentional, right? Like, people are using the energy of every day to stop time instead of, no, that energy is meant to flow us forward. You're supposed to use that to go along with the river, and they're like, no, I fight the river and I stay right here on this crusty shit rock. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh, well, that's a way of doing it, I guess. So, yeah. Fuck. Anyway, during a moment there, we were talking about abusive relationships, right? And comparing and contrasting the idea that when I was a Mormon, they just were training me to stay in a certain abusive relationship, and they didn't care that training me to do that kept me in other abusive relationships, right? They didn't care. They weren't going to get me out of relationship B, because that might get me out of relationship A, and that's definitely not going to happen, right? So, you know, you developed tools for staying in, and nobody was too critical of these red flag behaviors. And so, yeah, we're going to put out these very clickbaity sort of videos, a minute or a half of just going over these ideas pretty quick, of like, and then you know, labeling it, well, coming from the label, coming from the title. And so the title of one of them, Joe's got it written down, is why I can't read in the dark.
Why Pastafarians are free of abusive relationships.
Yeah, why Pastafarians are free of abusive relationships. That's a good one. Why Pastafarians
will save the planet.
Yeah, will save the planet. Yeah, or maybe how. And, right, how Pastafarians will save the planet. And it's like, what the fuck? And we'll be like, we just walk the fuck out of mythology and look at the fucking science and be like, oh shit! The fucking myth believers are burning it. That's how we're going to save the planet. You know, and, but, you know, get it really clickbaity.
Right. Right. Quick with, like...
Right. And that's all the stuff we have to work on. That's the only time we have to work hard, is for that shit. And then for the rest of it, you know, we can just sit here and fucking rant and ramble on. Yeah, good one. Except for today, I gotta go. Because I gotta get a lot of chores done. Because of this fucking weekend thing. We were so fucking busy. I drove to the school 20 times this weekend. No, I didn't do the math. I didn't count. I didn't count because I would go insane if I knew the real number. I would go crazy. I would say it to a lot of people, to their faces. I'd be like, well, you remember how bad homecoming was? And they're like, what are you talking about? I drove to the school 18 times that weekend.
Yeah, I woke up singing that I'm so tired. So
Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel. Just...
Yeah, and our fucking shit is all the way empty. Our fucking chores list. How many chores have we done? None. We're fucking bottom line on chores. Rowan F. says, yep, the stuff I learned while growing up in church prepared me to get myself stuck in future harmful relationships. Yes, absolutely. What is that called? Well, that's a thing, right?
We're going to talk about that thing, though.
But that is the point, though. And it's very, very hard. It's super sad. But, like, for my own mental health, I had to develop these skills. And these skills reject bad relationships. And it's not my fault that you're trying to perpetuate a bad relationship with me. Right? It's not my fault that the skills that identify and accuse the abusers are identifying and accusing fucking other people. It's theirs. That's the point, is I cannot be in an abusive cult anymore. It's got to be a good cult. We've got to turn our critical thinking on our own religion, and we've got to find a religion that's worthy of both our worship and our critical thought.
Yes.
And so that's going to take a lot of time. That's going to take a lot of work. Someone's got to be in the building doing it, and I'm just crazy enough to do that shit for you, Pastafarians. And you motherfuckers are crazy enough to stop by and help me doing it, which is the way that we fucking do this shit, isn't it? If there is a true cult, what the fuck does it look like? Because I think it looks exactly like this. And if you can find anything that you think doesn't belong in a true cult, and you can convince us of that, we'll remove that, because we don't need that shit here. Isn't that right? So what the fuck? Where in the world is there a truer religion than this? And the proof is in the fucking growth, man. The fastest growing cult in the modern world.
Yep.
So fuck, man. And that fucking I Pastafari film is coming out very, very, very soon, I think.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. It's being shown in some festivals starting this month or next month, I think. And I gotta get my fucking my driver's license renewed. I gotta get this mole removed. Jesus, maybe I'll get them done at the same time.
So we're gonna go in and get that. We're gonna try and film it.
We gotta film it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's our constitutional right, isn't it? Maybe.
Mm.
I call it grooming, similar to what seasoned child molesters do. Yeah, that idea of grooming, is a very, it evokes feelings in me. Like, I must confess that, at first, I don't want to use the word grooming because of how, sort of dirty it does sound. But, yeah, I mean, raised a Mormon again, I'm not gonna, like, change that. But you hear about this idea in a lot of these churches, in the Catholic Church, in the, sort of, Jehovah's Witnesses had some weird shit going on, and in the very early Mormon Church, not just the modern one, but the very early Mormon Church, what Joseph Smith and his brother were sort of doing to these very, very young and alone girls, it can only be described as grooming. And so, it's just such a weird. It's such a dirty term, like, it makes me nauseous in my just the ideas it invokes. And there's this dude, so Mormonism had polygamy for a long time. It was polygamist. And let's talk a little bit about Warren Jeffs is what I'm talking about. But this guy, go listen to this guy's voice, and you have, like, it's just what grooming is, right? This guy's voice. And he was part of a group that held on true traditions longer. And so he might be using Joseph Smith's cadence, is my point. Like, you hear these cadences from the pulpits, the General Conference, and you hear the people sort of normalizing the way they talk to you, bringing it in line with the way that other people talk, right? And we're all trying to talk a little bit more like the prophet, right? And the prophet is 100 years old, and he's trying to talk like that person he can remember, right? And so some of these weird traditions might be coming all the way from, yea, even Joseph Smith himself. For he were the one who said, and it came to pass, right? And we all read the fucking words, and it came to pass, and it came to pass. And we're putting his cadence and his way of speaking into our minds, right? And I think maybe nobody was as good as that as Warren Jeffs. And so he's a very, very, very hard man to listen to, in my opinion. There's this one video where he's talking to his, like, brother or cousin fucking through the glass, and he's in the fucking jumpsuit, and he's like, I never was a prophet. It's a thing to behold, man. It is amazing. It's very cathartic to be like, whoa. Yeah, it's mental illness. Yeah. And I got just enough mental illness to be a prophet, motherfucker. So he's obscene, and I think his obscenity is a reflection of Joseph Smith's. And Joseph Smith is a story that it took me a long time to really come to terms with. I thought it was this thing. He told his own story at one point, and the fucking historiographer, the mythologizer, told his story. And, like, yeah, it's great. It's fine. It's a fine story. He's a prophet. He talked to God. Yay. He didn't fucking drink the alcohol when he had to have the surgery. Oh, what a hero. And it's just kind of a stupid, boring story. And then you hear about his actual life, and it's just like, oh my god, who the fuck? What was this fucking dude? He was an insane man. He was never stopped.
Yeah.
That fire guy, fucking never stops, right? You're like, why the fuck is he doing it? Like, governments were thinking that about Joseph Smith. Why the fuck did he go and do exactly the thing he got fucked for in Kirtland? Like, how the fuck is he like, no, we're just gonna do it again, and it's gonna be fine this time? And it's like, it was like 10 times worse in fucking Nauvoo. It was bad in Kirtland. He was fucking writing his own money, and, it was nuts in Kirtland. And it was 10 times worse in Nauvoo. Fucking, he just never got off that thing. Like, I get whatever I want because these fucking people are idiots. And, oh my god, he was obscene. But his wife, holy shit. This chick was nuts. If you think... I've pitched it to some of my very, very rich California friends. I'm like, listen, I need an executive producer on a Game of Thrones style miniseries about Mormons. We start with fucking Joseph Smith, and we just tell this fucking story David Koresh style, and this shit is gonna blow some fucking minds. People in this country are gonna be like, holy fucking Orson Pratt, right? Like, holy fucking, what the fuck? Holy fucking, did you see the Parley P. Pratt episode where he fucking died in Indian territory because one of the husbands of his wives came to fucking kill him and they never fucking found his body? Like, did you see that fucking episode? Like, that blew my fucking mind. I did not think Parley P. Pratt was gonna die in fucking Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, fuck yeah. It's a crazy story. And Emma Smith is one of the craziest, man. She afterwards, she just set up shop in fucking Nauvoo. Ruined, wrecked, burnt out Nauvoo, right? Did they burn the temple or is that canon? They burn it as they were walking out? Something like that. She stayed there in the fucking ruins of her shit kingdom. Kingdom of theft, right? The fucking... And the next con man fucking conned all the fucking idiots, walked him out of the country, and she just sat there and said, no, this is the true con! And fucking, so she had married Joseph Smith II. Joseph Smith we know is a junior. The Joseph Smith we know is a junior. And he, of course, called his son Joseph Smith III, of course! Like, why would you break such a wonderful and great tradition as, not even having to think of what the name will be. Not using your imagination one iota. What a great tradition that is. I was handed this, I handed forward no thought. Hooray! Laziest of humans. So, Emma Smith fucking says to young Joseph, your dad is a fucking hero. He talked to God. Here's the book he wrote. And you're next in line. You're going to be a prophet of God. You're going to hear the voice of God. That's my Emma Smith. And Joe Smith's like, oh, that's great. Joseph Smith III is like, cool. And I'll be a good prophet, you know? Great. I'll read the fucking Book of Mormon, and I hear about bad prophets and good prophets, and I'm going to be a good one, eh? I'm fucking Nephi, the second son of Nephi, right? I'm fucking this is going to be great. And then he gets some fucking rumors about, like, some weird shit went down in this weird shit kingdom that he's still living in. Fucking mosquito heaven. And he's like, hey, Mum, so people are saying that my dad had more than one wife. And Emma Smith told his son to his face, they're lying. He did not. That's not true. And so, what kind of person can gaslight their child in such a stupid and pointless and malicious and dubious manner? Fucking Emma fucking Smith can. What a piece of shit. Like, how can you listen? I have this problem, and I'm totally fucking racist against Christians. I have this problem of people being like, well, you know, Jesus, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What else in your mind is rotten? I can't stop thinking it. As soon as someone says, I have this rot in my brain, I think, I bet your brain's fucking riddled with it, then. And I don't know what kind of asshole that makes me, but I want someone to prove me that there's some people with only one rot in their brain. No, you can have a clean mind other than Christianity. I doubt it. I seriously fucking doubt it. I think there's a lot of rot behind that shit that you're creating so that you can see your mum again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, too late. You should have told her you loved her when you saw her. But there's no one there to fucking grieve it, so tell the people now. Learn your fucking lesson, do your grief for you, and fucking do better tomorrow. Are you fucking kidding me? You will fucking sleep for decades so that you can go back and finally earn the love of your father that never loved you because you were too gay? Are you fucking kidding me? What is this fucking shit we get ourselves caught in? It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
Burn away decades.
Oh, so sad.
Right? And we say, when you burn these things, it ruins the environment. And they're like, it is my right to burn my life away. It is my God-given right to fucking not be here. Mm-hmm. I have no idea where he wrote that. I don't know. I thought he said, all you get is today. And one of these days you'll get no more. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that shit is fucked up. And I have got to go, Pastafarians. Thank you so much for joining us here. I am really embarrassed about my emotionality. But I don't know how else to do this. Except emotionally. A, because maybe that's what they mean when they say spiritually. I don't know what the fuck they mean when they say spiritually. Might be the exact same thing. A?
Yep.
So, yeah, let's learn from the mistakes of our past. Let's fucking collect these red flags together and let's say, dude, I don't want to be grooming anyone. I don't want the fucking patterns that the Book of Mormon put in my eyes and wrote on my brain from a very young age to manifest themselves in any way that fucking Joe Smith would be proud of. I don't want to participate in these hateful systems anymore. And I would like my voice to be heard as I speak against these systems. I don't want to be the fucking crazy asshole in the street that's saying, hey, you know, that Bible, it's not really holy. And I don't want that to be the craziest thing these fucking people hear in their lives. It's not that crazy. Jesus fucking Christ. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Pastafarians. We will see you tomorrow, and I'm going to go do my fucking chores and live my life because I really have no other options. See you tomorrow.
Well, I went to the doctor. I said, I'm feeling kind of rough. Let me break it to you, son. Your shit's fucked up. I said, my shit's fucked up. Well, I don't see how. He said, the shit that used to work won't work now. I had a dream, ah shucks, oh well.